What's up, everybody? This is your boy Ken, aka MrGentleman, your host of MrGentleman Like That podcast, and this week's sponsorship is from Newsly. Newsly is a all-in-one audio super app for iOS and Android. It picks up web articles about the most trending topics on the web at any given moment and read them to you in a natural human voice. For the first time in ever on the internet, the entire web becomes listenable, all in one place. Browse articles from topic you choose, start playing, start scrolling, and start listening. You can follow any topic as you specifically as you like, from sports, science to Bitcoin, even for the Kardashians. It will find you on the latest article and you read them to you out loud. And they have podcasts as well. Explore trending podcasts from over 50 countries. Our podcast, MrGentleman Like That podcast, is on there as well. Yes, it is. Shout out to Newsly for that. I started using it as my default podcast app. Download and use Newsly for free from www.newsly.me or from the link in the description. Use the promo code MrGentleman that I will also put in the description and receive 1 month free premium subscription. So you already know, y'all, download Newsly now. Check it out. Support them, y'all. This is your boy Ken, aka MrGentleman, your host of MrGentleman Like That podcast, and enjoy the show. You are now listening to MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast Season 6. True! Hello, everybody. This is your boy Ken, aka MrGentleman, 1/4 of the Premier Boys podcast, and your host of MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast. And welcome to another new episode of MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast. Hope all is well. This is the mid-season 6 finale of MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast. Side A finale, I should say, of MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast. And pretty much, this episode is pretty much one of those let me talk to you episodes. Pretty much talk about, update on life, and many more. And also, season 6, second half announcement, and many more. So y'all already know what to do. Sit back, relax, and I'll be right back.
It's your boy Dre the General, and you are now tuned in to MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. And at this time, I will be giving y'all the MrGentleman Facts quote of the day. And today's quote of the day is, anything is possible as long as you put your mind into it. And I say this because whatever you want to do, anything is possible. You just got to continue to work hard, stay positive, and just put your mind into it. There's many people who don't believe in you, but as long as you believe in yourself and believe in your brand, anything is possible. Just put your mind into it. That is today, MrGentleman Facts quote of the day. Hello, everybody. This is your boy Ken, aka MrGentleman of MrGentleman Like That podcast, and This commercial break is brought to you by MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast, where we bring many guests telling about their stories about their brand they got going on. Also about me telling y'all my personal stories about things that are going on in my life. Also, we have many spin-off shows on MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast called The Old School Show with myself and the star writing Rod, where we talk anything old school, which happen every 4th or 5th Sunday at 12 a.m. on the MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast Network. And another spin-off show called A Conversation About Music Podcast, where we talk to many artists about their music journey. And also we have a roundtable music discussion about anything music, and which should come on every first Sunday at 12 a.m. on MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast Network. And yeah, you already know, if y'all need a podcast to listen to, check out MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast. We're on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Good Pod, and many more. Y'all can rate the show 5-star rating on Good Pod, Podchaser, and Apple Podcasts. You know, the more y'all rate, the more love the show get. Y'all can also check it out on YouTube. Subscribe on YouTube now. Ken, aka MrGentleman Lifestyle TV. And also support the website of MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast, MrGentleman LifestylePodcast.com. This is your boy Ken, aka MrGentleman, and have a good day, night, wherever you're listening to this episode. Back to the show. True.
This is Pam Dialal, and you're now listening to MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. And at this time, for this mid-season 6 finale episode, I want to talk to y'all real quick. And I want to know, have y'all ever felt like days where y'all feel very unmotivated, days where you don't feel like doing anything, and days where you're just feeling really down? To be honest, I've been feeling that way for a while. Only for probably this month, and always try to figure out why I've been feeling this way. And I know one reason why is that I'm feeling like I'm stuck in a box where you know that you're doing pretty okay for yourself, but you're still not where you want to be, you know. And I know me as a person, this was just a personal feeling. I always feel like I always want to grow even more. You know, as a tourist, you know, us tourists always harder ourselves when we not where we want to be in life. And we end up doing more we can just get better, just to do better. Because we see ourselves doing better. And if we're not at a place that we tend to just feel down, distance ourselves from people, and just many more. And I've been feeling that way for a long period of time. That, you know, I could be at a better place, podcast-wise and personal-wise. And yeah, I'm not going to hold y'all. The podcast been doing pretty good. It's been doing pretty good, but I feel like in my vision, in the vision that I want, I feel like I could be doing more. And I know it's possible. You know, it's possible to do better. It's okay to want better. But sometimes it's hard. And sometimes we all lose patience on what we really want to do. That's why some people quit early. And, you know, when they started podcast, because they don't stay long enough to see how successful your show can get, you know. And honestly, all y'all need to do is y'all stay consistent, put out good content, network with others. Anything is possible. You just have to get through the hard part before you get to the easy part. And honestly, I've done that with my show, you know. To be honest, it haven't been easy doing the show, not at all. You know, I feel like I have to push myself a lot more and push my show a lot more because I have to let people see me. I had to let people see me. Constantly, when I first joined Good Pop, people would not pay me no mind. I'm keeping 100. People would not pay Mr. Gentleman like the pocket no mind at all. Like, so what I kept doing was keep pushing my show, keep sending to people, keep putting out content, get myself on the chart, then get myself to the top of the chart so people know who is this guy and take the time to listen. Some people became fans of the show. Other people wasn't a fan of the show. And other people, annoyed that have not given my show a chance. And I ain't gonna hold you. That hurts, because how can you know a show if you don't like a show if you don't give it a chance, And honestly, when it came to me, I felt like I dealt with that a lot. Especially as me, I listen to a lot of people's shows, and I got an open mind when I listen to these shows. Some shows I actually became an active fan of. Some other shows, it took me a while to become a fan of, but I've become a fan eventually. And other reason I just not be a fan because it's not even the show itself, it's probably the person behind the mic. Probably move funny to me or something. I get a weird vibe from them. But that's a story for a different time. But, the thing is, like, support. I like to support others. And sometimes, all I really want is to get that same support back. Same support back. And I don't mean support as in you rate my show 5 stars and then you call that support. No, I mean like actually sitting down and listening to the show and let me know what you feel about it. What do you know what I need to work on? Stuff like that. And if you became a fan, let me know. Don't be a silent supporter. Just let me know, and you just never know what could happen. I always try to give my people flowers the best way they can. You just never know when they're going. It's always good to acknowledge the person why they do here, because you might miss that chance when they're going. And that's why I always try to do my shout outs. I try to listen to the show and try to let them know that, you continue to do amazing work. Because you just never know who's listening. You never know who a fan of yours. You never know who life you are changing. You just never know who life you are changing. So that's why I always seem to give people their flowers while they do here. Because you just never know what somebody going through. Many people don't talk about things in public because they are better at things behind the doors, behind the scenes. Because you just never know. Something simple could make a person's day, and you just never know what they are going through. That's why I try my best to support others the best way that I can, Especially if I'm a fan of you, I'm going to go hard for you. If I'm a fan of yours, I'm going to go hard. Just know if I'm a fan of yours, you pretty much got a fan for the rest of life, Support for the rest of life. But sometimes, though, I kind of do want that same support back. And I guess I do a lot more for the podcast community, more than people know. And sometimes I don't always get that back. And, I'm not going to hold you. That kind of hurt, but it's cool because I learned to realize now that not everybody is going to like you. Not everybody is going to like your brand. Not everybody going to support you because eventually they're going to come around eventually. And also, like the saying goes, when you get to a new level in your life, you start to see more devils in your life. And I say this because sometimes people envy you, and you don't even know people envy you because of the success. And all you really doing is just doing what you're supposed to do. All you're doing is push your brand, and people secretly don't like you for no reason. So sometimes you just have to watch out for those people. You just never know who envy you for no reason. That's why I always want to support others the best way that I can. Because we all need to support each other. We all need to grow with each other. There's no competition in this. We all going for the same goal. We all going for the same thing. And honestly, the reason why I started my podcast show, the reason why I started Mr. Gentleman like the podcast, because like I always mentioned, podcasting was always something I always want to do. And, and I wasn't confident in my voice, being bullied, almost all my life, being called many names, called stupid, retarded, dumb, I wasn't going to be shit, and many other things, and some of those things really made me lose my confidence. But sometimes you can't. Sometimes you let some negative things and you turn it into positive. Sometimes the negative can motivate you to do better. Sometimes you can't let the negative bring you down. You just have to let the negative motivate you to be the best version of yourself. And honestly, that's what I did with the show. Another reason why I started the Gentleman Like the podcast was so my friends, my close friends, can have a platform where they can have a voice. Because not many of them have the opportunity to speak to share their talent, to share their voice. And when I started my show in the first season, that's all I wanted. To have all my people, from family members to friends, to have a voice so the world can know who they are, the world to know their brand. And that's what I wanted. That was my way of supporting others. And then later, start to expand it to everybody else who needed to put their voice out there, who has something to say, who have a story to say. I wanted that. And of course, last but not least, a platform for me to share my stories. Because if people know me, I was not big on opening up, with anything in my life, or he kept it in. And that became a real problem. I felt like honestly in my recent season that I really started opening up a lot more, because you just never know what your story could do for others. You just never know who you're helping. You just never know somebody could be related to you out there. And like I say, you just never know. Sometimes you just have to take a risk in life. And sometimes you just have to take that risk because you just never know what the outcome will be. It could be a good outcome, it could be a bad outcome. But sometimes how do you know what outcome can be if you never took that risk? So sometimes you just have to take that risk because you never know what the result could be. And that's what I did with the show, And I'm just happy that this show inspired many people, this show helped many people. And I'm going to continue to do the best I can to help spread the positive, message in the show. And of course, have fun conversation, because we do have fun conversation in the show. And not always so serious, but just to let you know. But yeah, my main goal is always to help the people who I believe in, and those who believe in me back. And that's always been the goal. And not only that haven't changed yet. 4 years later, and the goal haven't changed. It kind of improved to spreading it more, to open up to more people, Now I'm happy for that. We still got a lot of work to do, but I'm happy for what the show has been doing so far. And also, y'all probably wondering why I named this episode "Why I Never Give Up," because I never give up, because even during a hard time and I feel like I'm not doing much, I start to think to myself and realize, why am I doing this in the first place? You start to realize what is the purpose? Why were you brought here to do? And I felt like my purpose for doing this show was to help others, to have people who needed their voice, to show their voice, to showcase my stories so others can learn and be inspired by it. And I never give up, because I didn't know something big will come out of this. I believe in God that something big will come out of it. I believe that I'm going to impact many more lives, and even people that you didn't name, they think it will impact. And this is why that I never give up, because this is something that I know that it will take me to higher places, and if everybody come along with me, I can bring y'all along to the ride as well. Yeah, so like I said, whatever y'all do, y'all, even when times is hard, do not give up. Sometimes, things get hard, but you just have to always remember that hard time is temporary. There's always a light at the end of the tunnel. And just continue to fulfill your purpose that God brought you here to do, and continue to just do and continue to do what's your reason for being here. And don't give up, because you're all doing amazing. And I'll be right back. Hello, everybody. This is your boy Ken, aka MrGentleman, like the podcast and the Premier Boy podcast. And this commercial is brought to you by the Premier Boy podcast, where where we talk about anything about the culture. Hosted by myself, Ken, aka MrGentleman, Mr. Aaron Sands from King Talk with Aaron Sands, the Star Riding Ride, who is also my co-host of the Old School Show, and Long Live the Chief Mally Mel. And we talk many topics from politics, music, sex, love, relationships, and many more. And also every topic that's going on in the news right now, many of our topics is very controversial, and the podcast show might not be for everybody because we talk about many explicit content, and yeah. So if y'all decided to check out the show, y'all be warned because y'all might need a drink or two. And yeah, because this podcast is so crazy. I'm shocked that it had not got canceled yet. So if y'all looking forward to listen to the Premier Boy podcast, check it out on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and many more. Each and every Wednesday at 12 a.m. You can check out the Premier Boy podcast with myself, Mr. Aaron Sands, Star Riding Rod, and Long Live the Chief Mally Mel. This is your boy Ken, aka MrGentleman. Have a good day and night wherever you're listening to this episode. Now back to the show. Yeah! I just want to take the time to thank everybody for tuning in to this latest episode of MrGentleman, like the podcast. Thank y'all for checking out the mid-season 6 finale of MrGentleman, like the podcast. Thank you for listening to the first half of season 6. It really means a lot. This was so far a really dope season so far. This pretty much been one of my favorite seasons of doing the show because I feel like y'all get to know more about me this season, and I've been pretty much more open about how I've been feeling and stuff like that. So for y'all to take the time and listen to this season so far and telling me that y'all enjoying it and telling me that I've been helping y'all been inspired, I just want to say thank y'all, man, because it really means a lot. And I really do this show because I love doing this, and I love helping people, and I love to tell people my story. I feel like many people need to know, and I feel like I have not been doing that enough my whole life. So for allowing me to create the platform and to do it, and y'all actually take the time to listen to it, it really means a lot. And y'all don't understand. Thank y'all from the bottom of my heart. And yeah, for real, thank y'all, man. Y'all already know where I'm at every Sundays. MrGentleman, Lifestyle Podcast, each and every Sunday at 12 p.m. We on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and Pods, and many more. Y'all can rate the show 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Good Pods, Podchases. The more you rate the show, the more people know about MrGentleman, Lifestyle Podcast. And starting in May, MrGentleman, Lifestyle Podcast presents Spinoff Series Thursdays, where all the spin-off series will be on Thursday going forward. MrGentleman, like the podcast, will be 2 days a week starting in May. Main series, which is the season 6 main series, on Sundays and Thursdays. All of the spin-off show will be on Thursday, from a conversation about music podcast, Date Night Talk, and the Old School Show. So here's the schedule of each new season of the show. Since autumn season have been ended, here's all of the new release dates announcement. On May 11th, MrGentleman, Like That Podcast presents a conversation about music podcast season 2 on May 11th, and every first Thursday at 12 p.m. May 11th and every first Thursday at 12 p.m. MrGentleman, Like That Podcast presents the Old School Show season 3, May 25th and every fourth Thursday at 12 p.m. May 25th and every fourth Thursday at 12 p.m. Old School Show with myself and the Star Rider Rod return for season 3. And in June, MrGentleman, Like That Podcast presents Date Night Talk Podcast with myself and Miss Vanna B. June 8th every second and third Thursdays at 12 p.m. June 8th, and second and third Thursdays at 12 p.m. The Gentleman Lifestyle Pocket presents Date Night Talk. So look out for The Gentleman Lifestyle Pocket being 2 days a week. Sundays, the main series of The Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast, and Thursdays will be the spin-off series of The Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast, a conversation about music podcast. Season 2, May 11th, every first Thursday at 12 p.m. Date Night Talk Podcast, June 8th, and every second and third Thursday at 12 p.m. And the Old School Show, May 25th, and every fourth Thursday at 12 p.m. So check it out, y'all. And if y'all want to be a guest on the main series and the spin-off shows, I am taking guests for the rest of season 6 and season 7, which I got announced will be coming later this year. So season 7 will officially be renewed, and we officially will be announcing season 7 for later this year. Since season 6 has been so amazing, a lot of guests been hitting me up to be on the show. I can't fit everybody on for this season. So season 7, I'll be taking guests for season 7 as well. But if y'all want to be a guest, y'all can email me a bio about yourself and everything that's to do to my email, kenYPGENT@gmail.com, kenYPGENT@gmail.com, or y'all can hit me up on social media, Ken_MrGentleman. I repeat, Ken, KEN _Mr. MR Gentleman, GENTLEMAN, and we can set something up. Y'all can also check me out on the Premier Boys podcast with myself, Aaron King Dosan, the Star Rider Rod, and Long Live the Chief Mighty Mel. Season 3, new episode every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Also, check out other shows from the Premier Podverse. But The Gentleman Lifestyle Pocket presents King Talk with Aaron Sands. I'm executive producer of that show. Every Friday at 12 p.m. New episode coming soon. Yeah. Also, check out this new show. Out of the Premier Podverse, the Star Time Podcast with Star Rider Rod. I am also executive producer of that show as well. Series premiere March 6th at 12 a.m. and every other Mondays. So check out Roddy's new show, Star Time Podcast, coming real soon. Also, look out for the Bridge Podcast with Long Live the Chief Mighty Mel, coming soon. So support every show that's a part of the Premier Podverse. Yeah, show love, y'all. Really means a lot. Y'all already know Abby on Good Pods, Kim, The Gentleman. Good Pod caters to many independent podcasters. We rate each other's show. We see what everybody listens to, and we have the charts. At the time, it's time to do the chart review. And I'll be giving y'all the Good Pod charts. And at this time, for Top 100 show, The Gentleman, Like That Pocket is number 13. On the normal chart, and we're number 12 on the indie chart. Yeah, we dropped, but I appreciate everybody that been checking out The Gentleman Like the Podcast. You know, I've been in the top 10 for literally just last year. And it really means a lot to people to support the show and the kids to support the show. And, you know, once again, thank y'all, man. It really means a lot. Also, for Society and Culture, I dropped to number 4. Before this, I went number 1. I went up for 7 days, and then a couple of days ago, we dropped. So once again, thank y'all for continue to support and listen to The Gentleman Like the Podcast. But I also want to take this time to shout out, the Black podcasters that's on the Society and Culture chart, because honestly, they've been killing it, and I just want to shout them out of random. Of course, shout out to the Red Dub podcast. Shout out to What Is WTWS podcast. Shout out to the Things About Us podcast. Shout out to Troll Street Talk Back. And shout out to the Zaya Show. You know, they are doing amazing things. And all these shows right now is in the top 10 for Society and Culture. I never saw a lot of Black podcasts in the top 10 for Society and Culture. So I just want to take this time and acknowledge them and tell them to keep killing it, man. It's been keep killing it and continue to put out amazing content. Y'all all doing amazing things. Shout out to y'all. The Zaya Show, What is TWS, Things About Us, Charles Street Talkback, The Red Dub, and myself, the gentleman, like the podcast. Continue to do amazing things, and once again, thank y'all for all of y'all to continue to listen to Mr. Gentleman like the podcast. It really means a lot. Now it's time to do the Mr. Gentleman like the shout outs. Y'all know I do this every last segment during the main series of Mr. Gentleman like the podcast. I shout out 5 podcast shows just so I can give them their flower, because they deserve it. The last time we did this, the last 5 shows was Playlist Wars, My Weekly Mixtape, Is Marriage Worth It, The Mass Debaters, and Troll Street Talkback. Now shout out to those 5 shows and check them out. So this week, Mr. Gentleman, like the shout outs, I will be shouting out these 5 shows. Shout out to Conversation with Toy. Amazing, dope, pretty dope woman, amazing woman. A show is really dope, man. She talk about pretty much a lot of life stuff and a lot of dope topics. She bring in guests to talk about, many topics. This is a really dope show. Definitely deserve more credit. So check out Conversation with Toy. Check her out. Really dope show. Next show I'm gonna talk about is Lady Pitch, Haiti Baby, and Lexi. 2 women that's in New York. Shout out to New York, and they are killing it. Shout out to Lady Pitch. Check out their show as well. Really dope show. Check out this show that has 4 dope women. Voice of 4. Shout out to them. They are doing an amazing thing. They took many topics, and they are killing it as well. So shout out to Voice of 4. Also, shout out to Unpacking the Box podcast. This is a really dope show. She is killing it, her content. I really enjoy her show. She bring in amazing guests, some just everyday people, and some celebrity too. So shout out to her show, Unpacking the Box podcast. Really dope show. And last but not least, I got to shout out to my Taurus podcaster, My Flower Podcast. Very inspirational show. I love listening to this show. This show always put me in a good mood when I listen to it. And shout out to Ash, My Flower Podcast, dope show. And check out the 5 shows that I mentioned on Mr. Gentleman, Lifestyle Shoutouts, A Conversation with Toy, Lady Pitch, Voice of 4, Unpacking the Box podcast, and My Flower. Check them out. All of them are really dope shows. And check them out, y'all. Also, check out the website of Mr. Gentleman, Lifestyle Podcast, www.realmrgentlemanlifestylepodcast.com, www.realmrgentlemanlifestylepodcast.com. You can check out every episode of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. You can watch every video of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. We have guest profile, all 55 guests on the profile, so check it out right now. I can check out every guest appearances that I've been on. Even my latest guest appearance on Chronicle of a Virgo podcast. That is a really dope interview. Check out that on that section as well. Y'all can buy merch from Mr. Gentleman like the podcast with TeePublic. Y'all can buy shirts, hoodies, mugs, art, pillows, and many more. If y'all want to support Mr. Gentleman like the podcast, please buy some merch. It really means a lot. And y'all, and continue to support Mr. Gentleman like the podcast through the website www.realmrgentlemanlifestylepodcast.com, and continue to support the show, y'all. It really means a lot. And and once again, thank y'all for tuning into this latest episode of Mr. Gentleman like the podcast. Before I go, when is Mr. Gentleman like the podcast returning? Season 6. So Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast returns on April 1st for the WrestleMania prediction episode. We got Aaron Kingo Sands on the show. We got Long Live the Chief Molly Mel and another wrestling podcaster on the show as well. And this is going to be a fun show. We're going to discuss Stand and Deliver and the WrestleMania prediction. So, this could be a fun episode. more things for the second half of season 6. We got more guests coming. We got a lot of my podcast friends coming in. I decided to bring them on. So we're going to have fun for the second half of season 6. Also, we got a new segment starting in the second half of season 6 called The Countdown List, where me and my guests count down 20 songs, movies, TV shows, and etc. And we top this down from our favorite from least to most. So that's going to start also in the second half of season 6. And more personal episodes, y'all. This could be a fun second half. I can't wait for y'all to listen to it, y'all. And yeah, I'm not going nowhere. So yeah. And also, y'all look out for Spinoff series Thursdays in May as well. Remember, but the Gentleman Like the Podcast will be every Sundays and every Thursday starting in May. So yeah, and once again, thank y'all for tuning into the latest episode of the Gentleman Like the Podcast. I see y'all April 1st. Or maybe that same week. Because maybe I may put out a bonus episode. Who knows? But have a good day or night where we're listening to this episode. Cheers!
Hey, this is Beauty Bella, and I'm listening to Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast.